Hi, it's Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Today we are making these gorgeous crochet heart coasters. To make your crochet heart coasters, you will need 2 or 3 colors of yarn. I used 3 different colors for mine. And you can just use scraps of yarn as well. You don't need to use full skeins. It's a really great stash busting project. If English isn't your first language, you can click this gear on the video and scroll through to find your preferred dialect. And if you want to follow along with a written pattern, all of my patterns are written in plain English and available on my website, secretyarnery.com. This easy-to-follow step-by-step crochet tutorial is available in both right and left-handed, so please check the description box down below to find the version that suits you best. To make your easy crochet heart coaster, you will need at least 2 different colors of yarn. I've used 3 different colors for mine, and you can just use little scraps of yarn. You don't have to use full skeins. It's a great stash busting project. These are all size 4 worsted weight acrylic, although these are a little bit more like a DK weight in my opinion. So this is a real 4 weight, and these are little tiny baby. You can see the difference, but you can use either one. So you could use an 8-ply, or you could use a 10-ply if you're in Australia, or a DK, or size 4 worsted weight. Whatever you have on hand, just feel free to use it. And you'll also need a 5mm crochet hook, 1 stitch marker, a pair of scissors, and a needle for sewing in your ends. Here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off, and let's get started. So we're going to start just by making a slip knot. You don't have to leave a very long tail. We are going to be working over it and just cutting it off. So just a 2-inch tail is fine. Snug that down and pop it onto your hook and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to go into your very first chain, so that's right on top of our slip knot. Just right there. We just want to go in, and we're going to turn that into a ring. So pop your hook in and get your tail situated underneath your hook with your work. So you want to make a little U shape underneath your hook and just be holding that open with your finger and thumb, working over your tail, and slip stitch to form a ring. Don't let go of that center part. We want to be marking the center of that ring. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Wrap your yarn and into the center of that ring, 2 double crochets. There's 1 and 2, and chain 2, 1 and 2. And 3 more double crochets into the center of your ring, still working over that tail. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the center of that ring. 1, 2, and 3. If I'm going too fast for you, just hit that little gear on the video right now, and you can either speed me up or slow me down. You can also just pause the video and get caught up. Now, to make some more room, we can just grab our ring and grab our stitches. Slide your stitches back, and that'll give you some more room for your stitches to lay down nice and flat in the center of that ring. So chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets into the center of the ring. 1, 2, and 3. So there's the 4 sides of our granny square. Chain 1, and we're going to join with a single crochet into the top of the chain. So top of that chain 3, we want 2 strands on the top of our hook. Just pop your hook in, and we're going to make 1 single crochet to join. That ends up right in the center of our corner. That's where we want to be. And just hold that corner open with your finger and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now right into that same corner space that we just made, 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So that counts as our first 3 double crochets. Now grab your stitch marker and just pop it into that space. We just want to be marking where we started. So we know where to finish our granny square. We don't just keep going by mistake. So into each of the next 3 corner spaces, we are going to be doing a corner. So corners are 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, all into the same corner space. So here is our 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same corner space. Just like a regular granny square. And now we're going to do that again into each of these next 2 corners. So each of those corners gets another corner, so 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. There is 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into that same corner space. And 1 more time into this last corner. So pause the video into the next corner space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Now we're back at our stitch marker, and you can see why we put that stitch marker in. It looks like this is just another space, and our corner would be somewhere over here. So this is just marking that that is where we are finishing up. So into that corner space where we began, 3 double crochets, right where the stitch marker was. And 3. And we're going to join in the same way. So chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the top of our chain to join. So we're going to single crochet right into the top of that chain 3. We want 2 strands of that stitch or that chain on the top of our hook, just like that. So 1 single crochet to join. And just hold that space open with your finger or thumb and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and into that same corner space, 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now into each of the next 2 spaces, so the side space and the corner space, we're going to do 3 double crochets into each. So into the side space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and into the corner space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now it is the fun part. We're going to start doing the heart. So into this next space, the side space right here, that's where we're going to go in, and we're going to do 12 treble crochets. So this is in US terms. So you're going to wrap your yarn twice and go into that next space. We're going to make 12 treble crochets. That's quite a lot. There's 1, 2, 3. You can pause the video and keep working along. Meet me back when you have 12 treble crochets. So there is my 12 treble crochets. They barely fit in there, but you did make them all side by side so they look nice and tidy. Now into this next space right here, we're just going to slip stitch. So right into that next space, it's a corner space, we're just going to slip stitch. Just like that. And now wrap your yarn twice, and into this next space, we're going to do the same thing. 12 treble crochets, all into the next space along the side. So wrapping your yarn twice, 12 treble crochets. So you can pause the video and just get your 12 treble crochets done, and I'll meet you when you have them complete. So there is my 12 treble crochets. You can see they're a bit wobbly. That's a lot of stitches to put into a corner, but don't worry about it. Mine looks like that as well. Into the next space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And 3 double crochets into each space along the side. So into the next space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and into the next space, 3 double crochets. And that's the corner where we began. That's the bottom of our heart. So it looks like that. Now to join, we're going to join the same way. So chain 1 and single crochet into the top of that chain 3 to join. 2 strands of that chain on the top of your hook and 1 single crochet to join, just holding that space open with your finger or thumb. Chain 1 and make 1 single crochet into that corner space, right where we've been holding it open. 1 single crochet. And now 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way along for these double crochets, right until we get to our trebles. So 1 single crochet, the next stitch is right here. It looks like a little hole, little dimple. And the stitch after that is a bit separated. There's a loop in front. You got to grab that guy behind. And the rest of them look like pretty little V's. So into our next stitch, our chain, 1 single crochet. And our next stitch is that weird looking little guy right there, 1 single crochet. And now it is super easy, 1 single crochet all the way up this side, right until we get to this stitch here. So right there we're going to stop. So all of these short stitches get 1 single crochet. Now when you get back to where our treble crochets are, we're going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. So 1 half double crochet, and into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet. Into the next stitch, 2 double crochets. We're going to be doing an increase, 2 double crochets. And into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch, 2 double crochets, 2 into the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next. So we're going to keep doing this all the way around until we have 2 stitches left. So 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets all the way around the fat part of our heart. You can pause the video and get caught up. Then when you have 2 stitches left, we're doing our last increase, which is 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet into that same stitch, and into the very last stitch right down here, that's where we're going to do 1 single crochet. Now into this spot where we already slip stitched right down in that same center, we're going to slip stitch again. So right into that very same space, slip stitch just to pin down that new layer of our heart. And now we're going to do the exact same thing, mirror image on the other side. Now into the very first stitch on the other side, it's this little guy right there, right by our slip stitch right there. So go into that very first stitch with 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch, we're going to do 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet, all into that same stitch. And then we're just going to be alternating our increases. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 2 double crochet into the stitch after that, all the way around this fat part of our heart. And we'll stop when we have 2 stitches left. So you can pause the video and get caught up, making 1 double crochet into 1 stitch and 2 double crochet into the next, all the way around this part until we have 2 treble crochets left to work into. When we have our last 2 treble crochets, we're going to do a half double crochet into each. So 1 half double crochet into each of those last 2 stitches of the fat part of our heart. And now 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way down until we get to the tip of our heart. You can pause the video and get caught up. Here we are. And when we get to our corner or the tip of our heart, we're going to put 2 single crochets into that space, right at the tip of our heart where we began this round. So 1 and 2. So that is the shape of our heart, and we're just going to slip stitch to join. So we're going to slip stitch into this very first single crochet we made right there. So just pop your hook in and slip stitch to join. Chain 1 to secure your yarn. Cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down to secure. And that finishes the small size of the heart. Now we are going to do the white around the edge, or whatever color you want to use for outlining your heart. Now we're always working into the pretty side of our stitches, so we're not turning our work and working into the back. All of our pretty stitches can be facing up for this pattern. So just go ahead and poke your hook straight in to that same space where we've been slip stitching before, just right in between that heart at the top. Loop of your next color on your hook, bring it through and slip stitch with both strands to join. Drop your tail, you can just hold it along the back of your work. And now into our very first stitch, again we have to look right by where we're joining. It's that little stitch right there. We're going to go in and make 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet into that very first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and 2 single crochet into the stitch after that. 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Now into each of the next 2 stitches, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet into each. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and into the next stitch, we're going to be doing 2. So 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then into the next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet into each. So 1 and 2. Then we're going to do 2 together, 1 and 2 apart. So 1 into 1 stitch and 1 into the next. 2 together into the next stitch. So this whole round is about 2s. And then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Into the next stitch, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. And now we're pretty much at the end of our treble crochets, like that. So now we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way until we get to the bottom or the tip of our heart. So 1 single crochet into each stitch. You can pause the video and get caught up. Now when you get to the tip of your heart, so I'm going to go into this stitch right here, and that is going to be the bottom of my heart. And into that bottom stitch at the tip of your heart, we're going to do 3 single crochets into the same stitch. So there's 2, and there is 3, and now 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way along this side. All the way until you get to your treble crochets, or the big part of your heart. And there we are at our treble crochets. So into the first one, 1 single crochet. And into the next, we can do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, so 2 by themselves, and then 2 together. So 2 into the same stitch. 2 by themselves. So 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet, and then 2 together. 1 and 2 into the same stitch. 2 by themselves, 1 and 2 together. 1 and 2. 2 by themselves, 1 and 2 together. 1 and 2. Now we have 2 stitches left. We're just going to do 1 single crochet into each, And if your stitches are a little different than mine, don't worry about it. It is a heart. Nobody is going to tell if there's an extra stitch here or not. Now we're going to slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet to join. If you are leaving it like this, you're not going to put the border on, you could join with an invisible join if you feel like it. But we're still working into it, so just slip stitch to join and chain 1 to secure your yarn. Cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down to secure. And that finishes the edging. Now we are ready to do the border. To start the border, we are going to start in that center stitch at the bottom of our heart. So we did 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3 into that bottom of our heart. We're just going to go into the center one right there. That's where we're going to join our yarn. So just poke your hook in, same as you would, 2 strands on the top of your hook. Grab your border color, loop of yarn on your hook, bring it through and slip stitch with both strands to join. Drop your tail just holding along the back of your work and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to skip a stitch. So we are going to be skipping this stitch right here and working into the second. So into the second stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skipping 1 and working into the second, 1 single crochet. Chaining 3, skipping 1 and working into the second with 1 single crochet. So that's what we're going to be doing all the way around. Chaining 3, skipping 1 and 1 single crochet into the second stitch. Just like that. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, and 1 single crochet. So you can pause the video, keep working along, doing your chain 3, skipping 1, and making 1 single crochet into the second stitch. All the way along, I'll meet you when you get up to the center of our heart. When you get up to the center, we're just going to do the same thing, and we're also going to estimate it a bit. So don't worry if you're skipping 2 or you're only skipping 1. It doesn't matter. Just do the same thing, do your chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to slip stitch right down here in between the legs of that stitch. So just go down and slip stitch. And chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And then whatever you did on the first side of your heart, you want to match that on the other side. So for me, I skipped 1. So I'm just going to be going into the second stitch on this other side. So just like that. And now we're going to keep going all the way around our heart, doing our chain 3, skip 1, 1 single crochet. So you can pause the video and keep working along. I will meet you when we get back down to where we started. When you get back to where we started, we are going to just keep going. So do another chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go right into that same stitch with 1 single crochet. Just like that, and chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to slip stitch to join right into the center of those legs we made at our join where we just began. So just pop your hook in and slip stitch to join. And chain 1 to secure your yarn. Cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later. Pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down to secure. Sew in your last tail and you're finished. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video right there, and stay hooked.